What's up, guys? Mav here, nerdsincoffee.com. With me once again, we have Roanev, Kage Nico, Decryption. Say what's up, fellas.
Yo, what's going on?
What's
Well,
up?
well, right now we're in the middle of E3. We had WWDC. We have a lot of fanboy wars. We have a lot of hatred. We have a lot of animosity going on regarding these consoles, and we feel as though you being your resident nerds that we want to kind of give back to you what our take is on this and kind of hopefully maybe give you a little bit of a better insight into what's really going on and what is really happening in the world of gaming, well, console gaming, at this current time. So, without further ado, I mean, as you guys know, PlayStation and Xbox basically held their big guns for E3, which obviously so. I mean, it is E3, it is the once a year mecca for all things electronic, and it also is the year that Microsoft and Sony are debuting their new flagship consoles and their next generation consoles. Uh, we're actually, as a group here, we're a little bit split on, you know, how we feel about both things, and so we're gonna bring it out for you guys. We're gonna show you uh, our discussions as a group on how we feel about this. So I guess the first things for everybody here, and we're gonna start with Ronev and go to Kage and then go to Decryption. How did you guys feel about E3? How did you specifically feel about Sony and Xbox? Um, and we'll move further into this. So Ronev, with you that are my furthest left over there in the number one
Yeah.
spot, all the way from Norway, guys. Haugeston,
Yes, yes.
Haugeston,
Haugesund.
Haugeston,
Haugesund.
Hugesson, Hugesson,
Almost.
Norway.
I'll accept that now. I'll accept that one.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about this E3 and the console wars, man? The console wars.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Consoles, I don't see the meaning of it. It's, you can do what you want on a PC. You can play console games on a PC if you want to. Like if I want a console, I'll get a Nintendo again.
Yeah, yeah.
But the way it looks now, I would, I guess, go for a PlayStation 4 instead of a Xbox One because I don't. Okay, I always have internet, but still, if my internet goes down, I want to be able to play offline. I don't want to be like forced to have internet to be able to play my games.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Kage.
You finished running?
yeah.
All right. Um, been an interesting E3. First off, I'll touch on something we had touched on over Nintendo. Uh, that's the underdog and the unspoken child here. Nintendo had their little direct. Didn't even bother with the conference, just a direct video. Literally, all it basically stated was, "We don't have anything until 2014." That's literally what Nintendo told you. They pushed a lot of things back to the end of 2013. They've got a new Donkey Kong, a new Super Smash Brothers that includes Mega Man and Wii Fit Trainer, and
Yoga pants.
with the yoga pants, and that's it. That's Nintendo. So just getting that
So,
out the way.
so Nintendo officially licensed Yoga Pants?
They officially own yoga pants now. No.
Decryption.
Um.
Oh, go ahead,
I
Kage.
don't know. Um. Looking at the two consoles, they both have their issues. I feel that Sony was smart about it. There is not as much difference in the two consoles as people think, but Sony just outplayed Xbox so hard this entire conference. We can go more into the actual details later, but yeah, Sony won E3. Now, if they won the
Of
console
course.
war, I don't. That's we can speak on that.
Yeah, console wars, I mean, will never be. And this is my thing. Before Decryption starts with his, um, console wars are never going to be won at an E3. It's something that's
Well,
going
yeah,
to take
you
a
know what I mean.
lifetime, yeah. But in this is a major like there's major arguments all over the place between like fanboys and each site, blah blah blah. But decryption, what about you?
First of all, so far, what I saw, I was pretty much up all day yesterday. I watched on the spike in the game trailers, live stream of all of E3. Impressed most of the time. Consoles, not really excited about. What I was excited about were the games. Games, very impressive. Some new titles, relaunches. Killer Instinct on Xbox, amazing. Can't wait. We'll just get to the consoles. Consoles are pretty much broken down for me in like three parts. It's the actual system and hardware, both very identical. Both Blu-ray, both high graphics, high RAM, high hard drive, great support, DirectX 11 on both. Just amazing consoles, amazing feats of technology. Then we have the actual UI, or the intelligence of the console. Microsoft's going with the more casual living room type box. I can see that being a good thing for some people, especially for people who have kids or people who share an Xbox and like live in a dorm room or just share an Xbox with the family. Because now, as long as you have gold on one account, on pretty much I think the main account of the Xbox, say your relative or your roommate can make an account, live account, and play gold without actually buying it, which you have to do now on the 360. PlayStation 4 going for more of a true gamer, like just sign up PlayStation Plus. There you go. No strings of authenticating, nothing like that. And third is the peripherals. Xbox controller looks way better than PlayStation 4 controller. Uh, the Kinect is really advanced but scary, but so is PlayStation Eye. Like people say, if you have the PlayStation Eye, if it's plugged in, it can't be turned off. But simply just unplug it. Other than that, I would probably end up going PlayStation. I just don't like the controller. It's the only thing I would want to change. It seems the analog stick seems too spread, but on the PS3 version they're too close. So I don't know. That's my breaking point right there.
All right. The webpage you see behind us right now is IGN's Who is Winning E3, and unanimously, I feel that we all believe PlayStation is beating the dog crap out of Xbox. And I kind of see, Kage, you said this earlier, man. Um, Microsoft took on the Sony role this E3 or this console release that Sony took on a while back when they were the top dogs, when they didn't really care too much about what the industry said or what the industry was trying to tell them back. They kind of went with their own deal and their outpriced console box and everything like that. I mean, there was an issue. People were like, "Well, why is Xbox One $499?" Decryption actually brought up the great point. I don't know why I didn't think about this, but he pointed out the Xbox One at $499 pre-order price. Everyone's like, "Why is it so much more expensive?" Well, dude, it's coming with an Xbox Connect. I mean, come back, and let's say, hey, the PlayStation 4 $399 price point. You're not gonna come and get a PlayStation Eye on launch or the new i2 or whatever they're gonna call this thing. You're not getting that with the Xbox One. You are getting the brand new Connect 2. Is it scary? Are there conspiracy theories that the NSA is going to be, all up in your business or trying to listen to your conversations? Because the average American family is what the national government wants to listen in on and hear about, their plot to take over the world or something. I'm not sure like why people are so interested about this, you know. And being a conspiracy theorist and believer myself, I understand. Do I think people are blowing this out of proportion? Of course, everything's blown out of proportion. I mean, many of the issues that we talk about that we're going to talk about today between the Xbox and the PlayStation really delve into how people are understanding what's going on with each console's take on the future, our console future. Um, you know, undoubtedly all four of us here are PC gamers. Undoubtedly, at least three out of the four of us have owned every single console out there. And I'm excluding Ronev because the last console he had was a Nintendo. So,
Nintendo 64.
oh, gee, that
Bump up a few years.
which
Yeah.
is which is exclusively probably the best console ever made.
Yes.
I
I
would say
mean,
that is
the
the NES.
no, the pioneer of the analog or the joystick, bro.
Oh yeah.
Come on, the little thumbstick.
Nah,
Remember
dude,
that?
Pong.
That was.
Pong, dude. All you had is a joystick. Just get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like when I first picked up a 64 controller, I was like, what do I do with this little stick, man?
Yeah.
I could not figure it out. Like, why is there three little? It looked like junk.
Yeah.
It looked like a penis and balls. You remember that? Like it looked like a penis and balls.
But once
Yeah.
you got used to it, you can't lie, dude. Oh,
Dude.
amazing.
GoldenEye? Okay, come on, GoldenEye, bro. Come on.
That's where my FPS career started. Man.
Yeah,
Shit.
007.
Everyone do it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyways, but in my full honest opinion and the way I see everything, the whole used game thing, and we're gonna go over this used games issue in just a second, but the whole used game issue is being way blown out of proportion because it's not gonna be a console maker's decision on what's gonna happen with these used games. It's gonna end up being just like it is in PC world right now. It's gonna be a licensing issue, and so you're not gonna be able to trade your buddy your license for your games. You're gonna be able to, you know, uh, have to buy a new license. And I think either games are gonna get more expensive. I don't think so. I think they're gonna get cheaper. Um, and the reason why I say this is because if they're gonna go into licensing issues, it's gonna be cheaper for them to license a game than it is for them to put out a full release on a CD. And I may be totally wrong about this. However, I know I am right about the fact that it's going to become a licensing issue and used games aren't going to even be existent. And we'll talk about why GameStop is changing what they do in stores to kind of like, I guess, set themselves up for the future. Um, but I digress. Let's go into what we're here to talk about, the games. The games is what I cared about the most, and this is what's going to make my decision to buy an Xbox One and not a PlayStation 4, but an Xbox One. And I'm not being a fanboy, and this is the thing, you have to understand, I've owned PlayStations. I have a PlayStation Vita. I have three. I have kids. They all love this Vita thing, and they don't even play it. But nonetheless, why I will buy an Xbox One, and why I think the internet issue is being blown out of proportion, why I think the used game thing is being blown out of proportion, and all of us here, guys, I mean, we're all going to talk about this. So, used games. And I'm going to start with Kage on this one because me and him already talked about this. But Kage, what do you think? What's your take on the whole PlayStation 4, Sony's video to Microsoft, or to the world, basically saying, hey, bro, you want that game? Like, you're switching games and go, it's just that easy?
Well,
With the information that I've given you about the content provider is going to basically take over the industry again, and this is, I mean, and this is just me reading into a lot of like the stock deals, a lot of the well, the Wall Street Journal and like stuff like that, and mind you, those aren't gaming publications, but financially, that's what they're talking about. So what do you think about used games?
well, technically, according to Forbes, which is more going towards more Wall Street kind of things, they actually say Xbox One E3. As a note, I disagree completely, but that's what they're saying right now. A lot of people aren't understanding that it's actually the publishers that are deciding if games can be used games, if they can be, if they can be traded in, or if you can trade them with friends. It's the publishers that decide that. In actuality, first party wise, both Xbox and both PS4, they don't have any DRMs. They don't have any kind of disc anything. Well, I think they have the whole you can trade it to someone else once, and then it can't be traded again after that. But they're not going to have any kind of requirements on their first party games. They're leaving it up to other companies, EA, Activision, to add any kind of things they don't want to see on there. So that's one issue with used games. So you'll see any first party like Uncharted. the first party PlayStation game? Anyone? Killzone?
Killzone.
Killzone? Okay, so you'll see used copies of Killzone. You'll be able to trade that with your friends. Halo, you'll be able to trade that with your friends apparently as well. One thing that's weird though is they were saying that you can have, I guess it's like, as long as someone's been on your friends list for more than 30 days, I can like decrypt if you're on my friends list, I can let you use the game,
At a
and then
fee.
you give it back to me when you're done. Like, but it would be like
Yeah.
digital kind of like I let you use it as long as you've been on my friend list for 30 days. Like, it's
It's
everything
almost
is
like
just-
you're lending the game to him.
Yeah, they're putting specifications out there, and I agree with that. Kai. I don't understand it. I guess they're gonna have to explain it a little bit more.
They're still trying. In all honesty, they are scrambling. I know that these things were not originally planned for Xbox. They had this view, this almighty view that it's like they may not like it at first, but they'll understand this is what we need to do, and we're Xbox, and they're gonna listen. Then PlayStation came out like making fun of them, and Microsoft is not used to being made fun of, and they were like, no, we're not gonna have a used thing either. It's just other companies that are gonna have it. It's just like it was all a scramble to try to save some kind of face, but in actuality,
There's a lot of truth behind this. I mean, okay, being a PC gamer and having to deal with this already firsthand before, before this was even this was never an issue, by the way, on PC because we were just molded into it in the beginning saying you're licensed to this game and that's it. Type of deal. You have to have an account just to play this game and that's it. And and that's because the content provider did that. And one of the reasons, like why a PC gaming manufacturer, like somebody who makes PC gaming, are more profitable, such as Blizzard, I guarantee is probably more profitable than most of those other companies because they don't have to sell a used game. They don't sell used WoW games. They don't sell used StarCraft games. They don't sell used, you know, Diablo games. And think about it this way, like who's that? Francis. I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted on the Nerds and Coffee channel, or page on Facebook, which Francis kind of went on his rant about used games and pre-orders. How pre-orders basically like kind of like destroyed gaming in its entirety, and how used games destroyed the way content is provided in the games. And there was a lot of truth behind that, and I kind of, I don't know, had like the epiphany thought of that makes a whole bunch of sense. Because look at it this way, once you trade in, say, your Call of Duty Black Ops, you're done playing it, you're like, yeah, screw it, I'm getting sniped, I'm getting spawn killed, I'm getting, camped out all day long, I don't want to play this crap no more. Take it back to the GameStop, get your $10 or $20 or whatever, total rip off in price, but they're gonna sell it again for $54.99 when they just sold it to you, what, for $59.99, brand new.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell it for $54.99. That $54.99 does not go back to the makers of Call of Duty. It goes directly into the pocket of GameStop, right?
300 games for GameStop is a multi-billion-dollar thing per year.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
so in this instance, so the person who buys this used game saves $5. However, that $5 is pretty much trumped because now the Call of Duty Black Ops series and what was it? I think it started back in Modern Warfare 3, where if you bought a used game, you had to buy the online pass. I know Saints Row did that to you. Saints Row the Third was one of the first games that did that, where if you bought the game used, you had to pay $20 extra to play online. So why buy the game used if you're paying the $20 extra? That's where GameStop dropped their used price to $20 less. $20 less to compensate for the online play pass.
I believe that was Battlefield. I don't think
It was
Call of
it was
Duty
an
had it.
EA thing.
Yeah, it was when they did it.
It was only EA, so Call of Duty never had that either. For some reason, I
No.
thought Call of Duty had that.
No.
One other thing.
Go ahead.
Go into that. So go touch on your next point, and then I'll bring this up because I wanna formulate this better.
Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that look, you had this whole like debate between wanting to trade your games, wanting to be able to sell your games back. Okay, yes, that's cool. I agree with this. selling your games back. Now, what I also see that happens is that these pre-orders really dictate how these games pan out, honestly. Like you get exclusive content, you get, stuff. Okay, if you don't pre-order a game, you miss out on specific product or specific stuff, like maybe a level or a map or a gun or an outfit that was included in the game before it was decided to be a pre-order. Now they're saying, hey, let's do something incentive-wise for pre-order. Let's take a portion of that game that was already made. Let's take that away from the consumer and give it to them if they pre-order this game.
Yeah.
So if you decide not to pre-order that game and you wait till afterwards, because you want to hear if people like the game, you want to wait for the reviews, you want to make sure that the game that you're buying is not a crap bucket of just total nonsense, which many games out there today are piles of crap, It was just ridiculous, But they're hooking you in there to pre-order these games because, hey, man, you're going to get this cool blue coat and a cool new gun because you pre-ordered it. You gave them the extra money to get through that game, or you gave them that incentive. Now, here's the other thing. This is another point that was raised where you may pre-order this game, and say pre-orders are dictating the industry. If pre-orders don't hit for this game, then that game manufacturer, that game, the game warden, or what you would call it, will say, hey, you know what? Well, there's no interest in this game. There's no pre-orders for this game. Wrap it up and get it out of here. No more development. So are you getting crappier games because there's no interest in them? Were they not fully developed because there's no interest in them in pre-orders? Like that really makes you think about how the pre-orders is destroying gaming in itself for consoles and for PCs too. And how used games are basically going to change the way companies are going to start doing business. And this is where I keep talking about the whole licensing faction for consoles, because right now, like when you buy an EA game, you have to have an EA account so you can get your specific EA content for the game. So if you buy a used EA game, they're going to know. They're going to know that you didn't buy that game, you didn't pay them directly. So you're like, well, why are we going to give you this content if you didn't even pay us? You paid somebody else to play our game. So,
all right, I'll touch
go
on
ahead.
this thing then now. It kind of ties into a lot of the things you just mentioned. It's a collection of things that are actually making it so that things like the online pass become a necessity, because there is no tail anymore for console gaming. For PC gaming, as you mentioned, Blizzard, they don't have used copies of WoW.
Exactly.
So they have that tail. Like you just paid how much? It doesn't actually matter. We're not going into amounts, but you just paid all that to get WoW just now, and that's still money.
Mm-hmm.
This game's been out for like 8 years, and they're still getting tail for it.
Mm-hmm.
The new game that comes out now for Xbox 360, they will get money for that. Like 80% of their major funds will come in that first like 2 weeks, and then the rest of it will just trickle over the next year. That they will see funds, and after that they'll see nothing. Even during like the GameCube days, they were still seeing something, but it's gotten so bad that they're not getting that money. So they had to like concentrate. Hey, we got to make sure these people get in there. So pre-orders. It's like if you go in, you'll get this entire level. Like we don't even want you to see reviews. We just want you to get the game.
The pre-orders are killing it, man.
And another thing they're worried about is like everyone gets so hyped up on graphics and such. They care so much for the way the game looks. They're not actually thinking about the gameplay. And so, like,
that's
something
the most
ends up...
important part.
Yeah, but they don't... That's where Nintendo... They're like, I don't care about graphics. We're just going to do gameplay. But it's just like... They know. A lot of companies know that their gameplay is not flushed out, so to speak. So they will incentive you as much as they can to get the game before reviewers get it and tear it apart. Another thing that they do to make up for the no tail is the dislocked content. And I think that is the most egregious thing that I've ever heard. Like I don't mind DLC, that's where you download it, like they continue working on it and put out new stuff, but where it's like this stuff was already on here and we're charging you $5 for this new outfit for Liu Kang. And that's dirty.
It is dirty. Oh my god, it is dirty. Yeah. And look at it this way. I mean, like League of Legends. the most profitable game, right? I think right now it's all time right now. Most profitable game all time is a free to play game. Why? Because they sell you content inside the game that people want. You know what?
Yeah,
You're gonna get the
I
game for free, but you're gonna pay for skin packs. You
I
know?
spent so much money on that game
Yeah, me too.
when I
See?
But
played
like,
it. Like,
I put
yeah,
like
I had
150 bucks
all
in it.
of champions. I had all the skins. Like, I had everything in the game. Like, once the champion came out, I think what is like once every month it comes a new champion.
I think right now it's every other week.
Yeah,
Wow,
so I
really?
bought one champion a week. When they released new skins, bam, I had them. I bought them. Like, spent so much money. I'm talking like maybe
Thousands?
over maybe over $10,000 even. Like, I bought everything. Then you buy RP or because you want the boosts to get more IP points to like buy runes and stuff.
Yeah.
You want XP boosts. Yeah, I spent so much money on that game. Then I got hacked, and I just said, "Hey, I'll
Oh my
quit."
God, you got hacked and all your stuff was
Yeah,
gone? It's
yeah,
not binded to account?
yeah. It's
Oh,
bind to account, but I got hacked, and they changed my password, and that account was so old that email address doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, but
And
they couldn't route it back.
oh,
This is discussion for after
yeah,
podcast. Um, but right here, that game right there should have been like, hey, gaming industry, this is how you do it right.
you know.
You know, this is how you make more money off of a game that you believe in. You know, if you don't believe in your game, throw a pre-order on it and give some exclusive content. Come on.
I know
Huh.
people that like. I live in a small town. My school wasn't really full of gamers, but you know, there's always that handful that you meet. You yell out a username on accident through the phone or something like, "Oh, wait, you're a gamer?" Like, yeah, and like I know people who tried to buy League of Legends at like Walmart or GameStop because they thought it was a full flagship game. It was like, wow, this game is amazing. And they come up to me like, dude, you play League? I was like, yeah. Like, dude, it's free to play. Like, you pay for characters you want.
Hmm.
And like the amazing thing now is the internet. You can get build guides, watch people play those characters. You can review the character and decide if you want to buy it or not. You're not
yeah.
you review it like I should have pre-ordered that to get that map. But with
Thank God.
pre-orders, though, I
Yeah.
made money. What I would do, I would go pre-order like 10 copies of the game, buy them, sell the games new, and then sell the exclusive content $20 extra for people who couldn't afford it, like who couldn't get it at that time. So I made my money back from the discs, then I made free money off the DLC or the but pre-order exclusives. So
That's
I
a
used it in my advantage.
that's
But
a cool.
that's
Yeah,
just tricking the system.
that's a little workaround there, bro.
No. But I just did it for money. I never kept any of the game. Like, I know I pre-ordered a few games, but it was games I already knew, like the Call of Duties and like Gears of War.
Yeah.
I never
You know
pre-ordered.
people wanna
Yeah.
buy like the second they come out.
Like,
Yeah.
especially when they came out with exclusive content and. I think it was like Dirt 3. I pre-ordered like 4 copies because I knew you got like a custom car pack. But yeah, I sold them at school for like $15. So that was $60 in my pocket for free from the
Here,
pre-order.
here's the thing that Call of Duty really tripped me out about, and this is something that was kind of blown up when when they first started selling these $60 yearly passes, Call of Duty Elites pass.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That the content that they released over the year was content that was made during development of that game. It wasn't something that they were working on, that they're saying,
No,
hey,
no.
we're going to release this for you because this is when we're finishing up with it. No, they had these maps. So
It's always been like that, though.
yeah, but, well, no, wasn't that the first time? Oh, no,
Mm.
you're right, because Black Ops, I know Black
Black
Ops
Ops
1 and
and
Modern
even
Warfare
Modern Warfare
2.
2.
Yeah, Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2, you bought DLCs.
You bought DLC, yeah.
And see,
Even for World at War, but I think World at War was a legit game came out, let's start working on a map pack. I know Modern Warfare 2 and the game was released, I think the first 2 map packs were already done. They were just holding off.
mhm.
But I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just a way to make money.
and it's a way to make money, and it's funny because um, I'm pretty sure I bought the Call of Duty Elite deal for all the games that it was available for, and that's fine. And it just so happens I never play them anymore. But and that's a more digress there. So we've talked about so far E3, who we think is winning. We all believe Sony's winning. That's funny that Forbes thinks so because that's pretty credible coming from Forbes, and one would say as a normal consumer, Microsoft played to the motion of not just being a gaming console, but being more of a home entertainment console that the older crowd, like the older people that don't play video games, but they want it for something else, like your Netflix box. They want it for, oh wow, I can watch my cable here too. I can rent my movies here. I can, listen to my music. I see that as being the reason why Forbes may have said, Microsoft hit on a different note. And I think, that's true. But to the gamer, PS4 was the winner. Now, we talked about the whole debacle between um, the used games and why used games is pretty much a nil point. And going forward, I mean, mark this here. If you haven't heard it anywhere else, remember that I said it. It's going to be content provider driven. Who cares about used games because in the end all be all, there's not going to be a chance for used games because it's going to be licensed product. You're going to buy a game and you're going to be the only person to be able to play that a game because it's going to be an account. So you're not going to be able to transfer your account. You can maybe sell your account to somebody else, but that's a different deal and that's a whole different subject than taking your game disc to GameStop, selling it back to them and having them resell it. That's not going to happen. Okay. Now,
If I can just throw something in real quick
go
for
ahead.
the used game. For me, if we get rid of the whole used trade-in, we're gonna see a better market. I'm just gonna put this out there. Look at Steam. Summer is coming up. Over here, it's already summer. It's really hot.
Hmm.
They have their summer sales. Left 4 Dead 2 is still greatest hits on console. It's still
Uh-huh.
$20. I bought last year Left 4 Dead 2, I think for like $1.25.
Hmm.
Why? Because that
Oh, yeah.
$1.25 goes directly to Valve. Now, I can't give that game to say Kage or yourself or anybody in the crowd because it's through Steam. That Steam is on my account now. That game is now registered to me.
Hmm.
I can't do like it's licensed to me, but because it's licensed to me and it's going directly to the provider, once they've made their money from their $60 release, they can start having amazing sales. Steam has like Call of Duties when they like after only like a month or two for like $45, $50, and they
Yeah.
take about a year to go down in price in your WalMarts, Best Buys, and of course if you buy it used, but then we're gonna go into that whole trading issue, the whole used issue. For me, license your games. Don't be afraid of it.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing because in the end, and then we go into pre-order. If you don't pre-order because you're afraid of the game, okay, we get rid of this whole exclusive pre-order stuff. You wait a few months, that game is going to go on sale like how it is now on Steam way before anywhere else.
Oh,
People
yeah.
go, how do they get it so cheap on Steam? Because that money goes straight
To the
most of
content
it
provider.
goes straight to the content provider, yeah. So,
Oh yeah. What I
license,
like about Steam
it'll
is
be
that
so much better.
it's not unusual to see like 90%
Mm-hmm.
price reduced on
Of
Steam.
whole
Like, it's,
franchises. You can buy a whole...
Saints
Uh,
Row
like-
the Third. You
Mhm.
bought over $100 worth of DLC in the game for $12.50.
Yeah.
Come
yeah,
on.
like you could buy the whole like Half-Life pack, like with Counter-Strike, Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, like all the Valve games.
So it was like
The
30,
Half-Life.
$35.
Yeah, and that was
It was like a $250 deal.
Hmm.
yeah, and that's so many games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I bought Dirt 3, Dirt 2, Showdown for what was it? $7.50.
Dirt 3, I think, is still $40 in the game or in the
Yeah,
stores.
$7.50.
It'll be once
So-
again. Don't be afraid of the whole licensing, the whole DRM. It'll be worth it. It's going to be different on console, but we're going to see how when Microsoft points to money, we're going to see straight from the cloud. It'll remind you of Steam if you've ever played on PC. You're going to go through the market, oh, look at this game, it's on sale, $15, buy it instead of
Yes.
owning the CD.
Yes. And now, and this is a question I was meaning to ask earlier. If $5 is what you say for buying a used game, would are you willing to spend that extra $5 on quality of a game?
Yeah.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So
I've
if
always bought a new game. Like, I remember when I first got my PS3, like games first started coming out. Like, I would always buy new games. And then it was only like a year ago. I went to go pick up Need for Speed Shift because Shift 2 was coming out. And the guy at GameStop was like, "Oh, you want to buy a used? You save like 250." I was like, "No, just give me the new one." It's only $20, but it was brand new. The money went straight to, I think it's EA that makes it. Need for Speed. I don't know. Can't remember. But
Fair.
I'm not gonna save 250 or $5 when I go buy a pack of cigarettes or go eat McDonald's and like you spend $5 when I can just come home or not have a cigarette for a day. You know,
yeah,
that's my thing.
I want to make a note. Like, not a lot of people actually do buy used copies just outright. Like they say, oh, save $5. They don't actually do that. What they do is they wait for the buy two get one freeze. Because at
Yeah.
that point, it's their game, it's their money to spend what they do. So they have amazing sales that the normal publishers can't do. So you'll buy like a $55 game, another $55 game, and then you get another one for free. So that's a lot of money you save then when you do it that way. So a lot of people wait for those sales.
Yeah,
You know,
but those still happen at big retailers. Like Best Buy has it all the time. Like buy two get one free. All that money goes straight to
see, but
the provider.
see right there, Kage, is what you're saying is also what we're talking about with the Steam sales, where Steam can sell a game for 750 instead of I got three games for 750. You're not gonna get buy two get one free. That's still gonna end up being over 40 to $50 compared to 750. And that's just example purposes. I understand what you're saying, and that is true. I myself I am guilty of buying the buy two get one free because hey, you know what? If I throw another game on there, I get another one of equal or
Yeah,
lesser
it's
value.
enticing. It's enticing when
Yeah.
you walk by those signs.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably all we're gonna talk about the used game issue, but that's market here first, guys. I mean, we said it. It's content provided. You know, it's gonna happen. It's not something that's not like it's what we're talking about, what we feel. It's gonna end up happening because of the
It's
fact
already here
yeah,
on PC.
it's already here. It's a proven model, and the more that a person can sell a game, trade it in, and somebody can come in and buy that game, and the content provider is not making a dime off of that sale, they're gonna change the way they do business, and they're gonna make sure that they capitalize off of their product more so than you know than what they are now. And one of the reasons why they say, well, content providers don't make as much money as they should, because of that.
Hmm.
It's because of that, and that's why you see crappier games. That's why you see these awesome, you know, game developers, these awesome um, gaming companies go out of business, get
THQ.
get shut down, and get thrown out of the business because you know what? People are buying their games used. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to get to, you guys. You know, we're losing a lot of quality content providers because somebody wants to save $5 on a game, or somebody wants to be able to sell their games back when they're short money, and that's to me that's one of the most beneficial parts of being able to sell your game for money back in your pocket. But then again, you shouldn't be buying that
That's so
game.
little money though.
Yeah, you shouldn't be buying that game if you were already itching in that pocket. So that's it's called being a responsible adult. you
Which
know,
I am not.
yeah,
None of
you
us
know,
are.
yeah, um, yeah. But then we can't sell our game. We can sell our account. Like, "Shit, I'm trying to sell my whole Chantoto set, dog."
Because we know how to play the game right. There you go.
Yeah. All right. So, who's winning E3? Sony. Talked about
Yep.
these games. Let's see what else we got here. Here is a 3D rendition of the Sony PlayStation 4, which basically looks like a Microsoft Xbox One in italics, or italicized, with their ever so awkward PlayStation 4 controller. I really wish there was a little screen on that thing though, because like they left like a little square there that there should have been like a display.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a little square on the console.
They're sticking to their Vita. The Vita's back panel is all touchscreen. They're just gonna do the same on the PS4 controller.
Yeah.
They saw how it was unique to the way game developers could do it. Like on their conference, they had a quick spiel about like all these Vita game developers and like, oh, you can tear the background of the game with your fingers. And they're just trying to do something unique. It's too much though. I just don't like the controller.
What's sad about the Vita, and I really believed in that little system when it first came out. I'm like, oh man, they're gonna have some cool stuff come out. Like Kingdom Hearts is gonna come out for Vita. Never once did Kingdom Hearts come out for Vita for the last year that it's been out, which really depressed me because they came out with Kingdom Hearts for 3DS.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts for 3DS.
No, it's a DS and then 3DS. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 3DS. It's only I guess you can't play it on anything other than 3DS.
No, I mean because there's two games came out. There was the
Dream Drop
8 divided by 2, and then Dream Drop Distance or something.
Yeah, Dream Drop Distance, and then the Kingdom Hearts 3DS one. But yeah, here's the console. This is what it looks like. It looks like a Wii, or it looks like a an Xbox One slanted. Let's check out the next one. Here's the Xbox. See, people are like the Xbox One just looks like your regular old box. I think it looks pretty snazzy. I like the controller. What do you guys think?
Xbox One is modern. They're both modern. I like Xbox One's what I could call it, like just squared face instead of having the slant, because not many things nowadays are slanted. Like all of my PC parts in my living room, my TVs, everything is flat. My cable box is flat in the front. Nothing is slanted, so it'll look weird. While the Xbox surprisingly looks very similar to my DVR player. Like if they have the semi-gloss and the gloss, so does my DVR. It looks about the right size, just the Xbox is thicker. I think the Xbox is going to fit in more with our modern technology because most of the TVs now are really sleek.
Yeah.
And PS4, I think you're just going to have like buy your TV and you're just going to game on it. That's why they didn't really care, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So, as you can see here, guys, there's two HDMI input ports here on the Xbox One, and that basically means you're plugging in your cable box into this Xbox. Alright. And one camera for the Xbox Connect 2. I want to know how that really works, because I remember them talking about how essential those 3 cameras on the Xbox Connect 1 was mandatory for them to get the actual gameplay that, that they wanted to sell you on how accurate and how pinpoint accurate it was. That's why you had 3 cameras. Now this one comes out with 1 camera, basically pooping on that whole that whole ideology of having 3 cameras. But that's what it looks like, guys. Let's see. Let's keep going. Some more E3 content. Turtle Beach. Turtle Beach is the famous gaming headset makers for everything for your ears. I don't know. I mean, I love the products. I mean, you can see Decryption has his headset on. Turtle Beaches, and they're the most comfortable ones out there. And they're coming out with exclusive headsets for Call of Duty's Ghost game coming out for the next generation
every
consoles. Every year they have it every year, but it looks pretty cool this year. That's it right there. The little skeleton on the side. Yeah. Okay. You know what, guys? What I didn't see and what I was kind of hoping to see, Warframe at E3 for the console.
They did have it.
They showed it?
The producer was actually there in between, right before, it was for like 25 minutes before the PlayStation 4 conference. He was there, the main producer.
Steve was talking.
Yeah. He did a bad job, but
yeah,
props to him for actually showing up. So
it was his first kind of E3 kind of thing, He was just like, we have ninjas and we're in space, and
like they were asking him about the game, and he just pretty much told them like, "Well, can't you see it?" Like, because they were playing it live. He goes, "Yeah, so you're just like ninja from space, and you wear these cool armors, and like you have guns and you have knives and you kill stuff." Like it was real simple, and I don't know.
The one who did worse was the guy from Wolfenstein. They're remaking Wolfenstein, and he was just like, we're shooting, And he was like, but tell us about how the immersion and all the new features you're adding to it. And he was like, well, I mean, it's kind of like Wolfenstein with shooting stuff. And he was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, poor thing.
Poor guys, they're probably nervous.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're used to being in their dungeons, creating these games. They're like, oh my god, what are we supposed to do on this big stage? Yeah, I can see that. A little bit more
Warframe
about.
was they actually said, yeah, PS4. They're right before the PS4. They showed gameplay actually supposedly running on PS4, and it looked just like what I have loaded right now. I have it on my PC at the moment, and it looked the same. And
Good.
beautiful.
That's good. That's good. Uh, Back to little stock talk. GameStop got a little kick in the pants because of E3. They went up about 7.8%, which basically means they went up $2.73 to sit at almost what, $40, $40 a share. Um, and this is basically on the hype of pre-ordering the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and the games that are going to be coming out for it. And this is one of the reasons why GameStop is getting a nice little push up. And we talked about, and what we were talking about earlier, I don't know if we already mentioned this, but GameStop, if you haven't been into a GameStop lately, it's not all about games anymore. You're seeing, like, you can sell your iPad, your iPod, your iPhone, your tablets, your Google phone, whatever.
Your movies, man. They're going
Yeah,
as far as movies.
yeah. I mean, they're preparing, and this goes to say, content providers are going to be doing these licensing deals instead of selling actual game discs. You're going to have to buy the actual code or whatever. Anyways, you can see that GameStop is already gearing up for that to happen because they want to change how they make their money, which is, you know, now it's going to be iPads and iPhones. I'm not sure, but you can see it.
They have been because Xbox said a while back, like almost a year and a half ago, that it had leaked that they were talking about not doing pre-owned games. And when all that hit, the stocks for GameStop and all retailers that are pre-owned games, they dropped dramatically because that's a big part of their money. And so they started branching out, looking for different things. They started putting the iPads, the iPhones, and started trying to. I think they have an internet service too, don't they? Anyone know?
I'm not sure about.
Yeah, they have like an internet service that they provide, or a cell phone service. They also have a cell phone service. They have a bunch of just random things you'd never think that GameStop would have. They do because they're trying to figure out what they can do. As a note, also, another reason that they went up in stock is because they did say that you can trade in games, and since everyone was worried about not being able to trade in games, you can still do it. And they also have a tax they're talking about adding. So if you have a pre-owned game, they have to pay a tax for that game, and that goes to the developer. So there's everything's still weird, but I mean that's.
I'm pretty sure everything is still not 100% through the legal
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah, there's some more. I mean, this is just E3, guys, and for the regular person out there that's watching this podcast, this is just E3. This is just something that kind of gives you a preview of what's going to happen or what's coming out for these consoles. They're just showing you their launch titles, guys, and that's all they're showing you. And they're kind of like trying to jab each other in the chest and say, "Hey, we're going to be better. No, we're going to be better." Either which way, both these companies are going to be laughing their ways to the bank. They're going to make incredible amounts of money, and this is why. And one of the reasons why, and this is why they're big money business. They're Microsoft. They're Sony. These are hobbies for them. Microsoft, Xbox was a hobby. Sony PlayStation, as big as it is for Sony, isn't Sony's main brainchild right now. They make TVs, they make car stereos, they make whatever. So
DVD players.
they make Blu-ray. Yeah, they make everything. Come on.
Walkman.
I bought some Sony shorts the other day. Come on, bro. Anyways, but
Built-in speakers.
yeah, Bloomberg comes out and says, PlayStation courts the gamers, Xbox aims for living rooms, and that's, I see that. I see that completely there. Anything to talk about there? No. All right.
They haven't actually touched on online.
Online? You want to go over that? Go ahead.
Okay. one of the big things that worried a lot of people was the originally always online, which people still to this day are still getting mixed up thinking the Xbox always has to be online. But what it is they have check systems. If you have a new game, you need to go online to register it with the licensing, as we spoke on. You have to, but you also have to do checks. So every 24 hours, you need to be online. You need to at least go online once. If you're at someone else's house playing your game on your account, it needs to be every hour that it's going to do a check. So that is the online system that they're going with there. That worried a lot of people because due to faulty internets, people in the military or people that just don't have secure internet, they worry that if something happens to their internet or if Xbox Live goes down for any reason, they now have a paperweight for a console because they can't play it.
Yeah.
That worried a lot of people, which is why one of the reasons Sony was able to win so big at E3 was because during their conference they literally said, "You don't have to be online, yay!" And people were like, "Oh my god!" And everyone was like, "Sony!" And then the guy from Sony came in and he threw the mic behind him, like dropped the mic like he was a rapper kind of thing. And, you know, that's what you do when you've got that kind of money. You drop the
Yeah,
mic.
Xbox didn't have any rebuttal for that one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they didn't have a rebuttal. And this goes back to saying, like, it's almost like talking about the used games here. Now, the regular consumer, and this is what these console makers are looking at. They're looking at the regular person out there. The regular person out there does have internet. You know, the regular person out there does have access to internet. And they also understand that in a few years, internet's going to be so wide scaled to where it's going to be free sooner or later. I mean, hell, you almost get it for free now. But, with Google coming out with their Google Fiber, and they're going to be trumping like all this, all this business from all these cable, these internet providers out there, such as your cable internet providers or DSL or whatever you have right now.
ISDN.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to it's going to end up being free for everybody. In most big big countries, most like
Wealthy?
no, I don't want to say wealthy, but
Well off.
well-off company
Yeah.
like in Korea, Japan, stuff like this, they have free internet. I think China has free internet. It's monitored and it's crazily like communist, but it's free internet.
Yeah,
And
but I think that's why it's monitored, because it's free. Like,
yeah,
they don't want to offer free internet and let people, like,
do whatever they
I don't
want.
know, yeah, do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that the always on deal, like that is a big deal for a lot of people, and I understand that. However, I also understand that when you buy an Xbox and you're buying an Xbox to game on, you're also getting Xbox Live. You're also going to be playing games that require you to be online to play them.
Yeah.
Unless you're a single player person, which there are people out there, I understand that, and I think that there's a lot of weight there, and I know Kage will say this was specifically because as a Final Fantasy player or as a Skyrim player, which was one of the what games?
One of the game of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's a single person game. So I understand that you don't have internet, you can play Skyrim for hours.
multiplayer now.
No,
Well,
but-
that's not a Skyrim multiplayer. That's just a Bethesda online Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
And that's gonna be PC. So
Yeah.
yeah.
My
With
thing
the-
is like nowadays the marketing people who want the cable thing. Like, everybody I know has the triple pack from their TV provider. It's cable, phone, and internet.
Mhm.
Everybody I know has that triple pack. Like everybody has cable TV. Okay, you can hook it up to your Xbox. Everybody has internet. There are just a few cases though of people who. I'm just gonna put out my brother. My brother was like, "Oh, what do you think, PlayStation or Xbox?" He is home. It's just him and his girlfriend. They live together. He's home probably like, I don't know, 3 hours a day, and then he's sleeping or working. And when he's not home, or when he's not working, like tonight when he gets off work, he's going to Vegas. That's what he does. He likes to travel. So for him, I was like, "You just get a PS4," because he just does it for like small gaming. He's not a true gamer. Like, for him though, like his internet at home is a wireless hotspot with just like 4 gigs, but he's always on his phone, and his phone has unlimited. It's just for the like the laptops when I had to like for like when me he's got to send me like an email or a picture that he took, or like I had to send him stuff and it's not to his phone. But like other than that, most everybody has internet. If you have LAN internet, it's not limited. Hopefully, at least here in the States. I know other places it is.
Like Australia,
Like
yeah.
Australia, I think Canada has a limit too. Sometimes in certain places. But like most of the time, people have their limit. And like Mav was saying, if you're buying the Xbox to be a gamer, you have Xbox Live. I think that's like, subscriber, remember, that's when that case into play. Like, or do you have to have it? I'm not
Hold
sure.
on.
Hey, bro, your mic is messing up, but
Uh,
yeah, it's like it's going like really squiggly
Fine.
squiggly. Yeah. We actually had additional stuff to talk about today, guys, which was gonna go over what WWDC talked about. However, at this point, because of the length of this podcast, we're gonna save that content for our actual nerdcast. This is our review of what's going on in E3 right now. This is a little bit about what we think about it, because there's a lot of you guys that asked us on the live stream that said, "Hey, well, what do y'all think about E3? How do y'all feel about this?" And I wanted to make sure that everybody else was able to um, understand what was going on and how we felt about it. So I think I lost all my buddies here, but that's really wrapping up the call. With me today was Rowan F. He's actually back on the call.
yeah.
We had Kage Nico and we had Decryption from your Nerds and Coffee crew. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit like on our videos, comment and let us know what we're doing right and wrong, and we'll see you soon. And actually, as well, we're on every night almost on twitch.tv/nerdsandcoffee. Welcome back to Decryption. I am wrapping things up right now. So,
Alright.
like I said, twitch.tv/nerdsandcoffee, facebook.com/nerdsandcoffee, twitter.com/nerdsandcoffee, and youtube.com/mavinked, which is kind of ridiculous, but that is a YouTube channel. If you like it, once again, subscribe. Please support. You guys have a wonderful day.